this meeting. I just set it to record, and good morning to everyone. So how do you feel about homework, and what exercises would you like me to work on before I talk about the exam that we have on Monday? Any problems that you have in mind so far? Please don't hesitate, ask anything you would like to ask. I already have someone sent me homework in section for the exam. So the homework which is due are sections 4.1 through 4.3 and section 5.1. So that's a homework for the midterm, and we'll have midterm, as I was saying before, coming one problem from chapter 4 and another problem from chapter 5. But again, we'll talk about midterm a little later when more people log in. Looks like there's still not everyone here. So that's why I'd like to start with maybe a refresh on what we did last time from section 5.1. So yes, the homework is due on the day of the midterm, and you can send it anytime when you're done with it, okay? So the question comes from section 4.3. Of course, I'm going to take a look at that section. Let me, well, let us go to 4.3. So while you have this, why don't I just do it? So I open the textbook here, so I hope you can see it in front of you on my screen that I shared. And I'm going to section 4.3, and the question was to look at exercises number 18 and 35. Okay, so let us take a look at exercise 18 first, that wants you to subtract two numbers in modulo 9. So in exercise number 18, we have two numbers that I subtract, and please notice that the base 9 has 0, 1, 2, etc. all the way through 8. So total is 9 digits, and that's how we produce numbers in base 9. So we use digits from 0 through 8. That's good to realize. And also you deal with powers of 9, such as 0 power, which is 1, first power, which is 9, and so forth. So those are the powers that you are going to utilize to write numbers in a base 9. Okay, so now I'm going to try to subtract these two numbers, and when I start out with last digits, looks like the 2 is too small, so I have to borrow. And when I borrow, nothing's going to be left for the digit before, because I borrowed 1, and I actually borrowed 9, not 10. So what we have here on that position will be the 2 that used to be plus 1, 9. So it's actually going to be 11 in a base 10 that I have sitting on that position on the last position, after I borrowed 1, 9 from the previous digit. So when I subtract 11 and 3, I get 8, and that's legitimate digit in a base 9. Notice that digits from 0 through 8 are fine. And I move to the next place. When you say place of tens, well, they're not really tens. They're place of first power of 9. So it's basically 9s. And start to think about subtracting from 0, 8. And again, 0 is not enough to have 8 subtracted from it. So I borrow another 1 from the previous place. So that previous place now will have 6 in it. Then 0 that I have will have extra 9 in it because I borrowed 9. And with that 0, I have same 9 sitting now on the position 2. So from 9, I subtract 8 and get 1, because they nicely subtractable now, right? After I borrowed. So 9 minus 8 is 1. And I finally move to the very first place where I have 6 now after borrowing, and minus 4 from it and get 2 left just like that. So 2, 1, 8 and the base 9 will be the answer. I don't ask you to do even problem exercises for the exams. And if you want me, I can definitely do them. It's fun stuff, but you don't have to do for homework even numbered exercises. But I told that I accept it as extra credit. So if you want, you can always turn in extra credit problems, and they are even numbered exercises. Now, problems in the next group of exercises I told you don't have to do, so you can skip it. And it's not in your homework, such as problem 35 that you asked me to do in that section. But I can still do it because, again, I like these little exercises. Why not? So whenever I did division in the base 4 or in any basis, and I will just recommend you to turn both of these numbers to the base 10 and then do division. So what does that mean? Well, if I look at the exercise here with base 4, so let me write another marker like 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that's base 4 digits, right? So in the base 4, we have powers of 4. So 0 power of 4, first power of 4, second power of 4. I don't need to go any further here because it looks like there are 3 digits in here. So this is going to be ones, this is going to be fours, and this is going to be 16s. In other words, the number we have here is 16, because if I write something like 100, I should have put them in the opposite order. 100 in the base 4, it means I have 1, 0, and 0, and they be multiplied by powers of 4, so they be 4 squared plus times 4 to the first plus 4 to the power of 0. And I can see that since the last two are zeros, when I multiply by 0, I always get zeros, right? And the first is going to be 16, then I end up with 16 plus 2 zeros, which is equal to 16. So this number is actually 16 in a base 10. So the advice is convert to base 10 and then you can divide. Notice 2 in a base 10, 2 in a base 4 is same as 2 in a base 10. So if I divide 2 into 16, I get 8 in a base 10. And now this 8 I will rewrite. So this is going to be 8 in the base 10, but now I need to write it in the base 4. So how can I write 8 in the base 10 as number in the base 4? Well, 8 will break with these same exact powers of 4. And when I do this, I can see that 4 squared is already too big, so it doesn't fit there. So I see how many first powers of 4 fit in 8. And there are 2 of them, right? So it looks like when I have this twice, and then nothing's left, so that'd be 0. So that's why this number will be equal to 2 and 0, which is in the base 4. So the result is going to be 2, 0 in the base 4. So please notice that divisions are definitely, since we haven't done them, and I told you to skip them, but I'm glad that you want me to do it anyways. Those divisions are ones that can be done in the base 10 and then converted back. So using the ideas of previous section, it looks like you already have some questions for me from previous sections. So let us take a look at section 4.2. So I'm going back to section 4.2. So again, you didn't have to do these problems unless you wanted to really impress me. And okay, I'm impressed. That's great that you're considering those. I hope you've done everything else prior to it. So anyways, questions 43 and 39 came up. So let me take a look at those. Now in the section 4.2, that's where they came from. So let's start with 39 that wants us to convert each base 10 numeral to numeral in a different base. In fact, I think the problems that I just did with this conversion before I divided were good warm-up exercises for problems like 39. So let me write 57 in the base 2. So what does base 2 stand for? Well, on the base 2, we have only 2 digits, right? 0 and 1. Base 2, only 2 digits. And we have various powers of 2 present, such as a 0 power of 2, right? First power of 2, second, third, and so forth. Let me see, how many, Alex, you're planning to consider here? Well, 2 to the power of 4 is going to be 16, right? And 2 to the power of 5 is 32. So it looks like 32 is still going to fit into 57. Notice that 2 to the power of 6 is 32 twice, which is going to be 120. 32 twice is 64. So that'd be too much, right? So that one, 2 to the power of 6. Sorry, 2. That's a 64. So that's something that is already too much for the number I have here, which is 57. I should not exceed it. But what I care about is 32 and lower powers, such as 16, 8, right, etc. 4 and 2. So this exercise, as well as all problems in the same group, are asking first to rewrite whatever number you have using the sum of various multiples of these little numbers, but we start with the first one. So notice that if I have 57 given, then it definitely has a 32 in it, right? That fits once. So I already have 132 in here. Plus, now I'm going to see what's going to remain. So what remains from 57 if I already knock off 52? Well, if you drop 32 from 57, that'd be 25, right? So you can break your 57 as 32 plus 25. So now your goal is to write the remaining part, which is 25 with powers of 2. And you notice that there is 116 that fits in 25. So 25, we have 1. Let me change the color here. So we go consistently. So number 16, that also fits once. Okay. So I put 116 in it. So when I take 16 away from 25 and see what remains after that, it'd be 9, right? 9. Okay, so I keep going down. So I just use 32, I use 16. Now I go to the next, which is 8. It looks like there'll be 1 8 that fits in my 9. So I put number 8 here. And there is only 1 gonna remain, right? So let me put another color so we can better see it. So there will be only 1 remaining from 9, right? Because I already used 8. So next will be 4 that I don't have present. That's why I have it with a coefficient 0. So I put no 4s in 1, right? No 2s in 1 either, so it'll be 0 2s. And only 1, so plus 1 to the power of 0, that's it. So I just wrote my number here with powers of 2, and those be 1, 1. So I just take this 1, 0, 0, 1. So in the base 2, this is same as number 57. And if you want to double check, definitely a good idea to double check. So get to the power of 0 here to the first, right, to the second, third, fourth, and fifth, and you will actually write back the same exact sum, which is going to be 57. So that's exercise 39. That's a very good question. That is from homework indeed. And I can take a look at problem number 43 now, which is patiently waiting. And I think that's another awesome exercise. And I definitely going to need a little bit of a room for that problem. So let me try to get a bigger piece of board here. So let me share with you for problem 30. What was that? 43, right? So that's number 138. 138 base 3. 138 in base 3. Please notice the 138 is not in the base 3, it's in the base 10, because in the base 3 we actually have digits 0, 1, and 2, right? Only 3 digits, that's in the base 3. So again, I'm doing problem 43 here in the section 4.2. Okay, so in the base 3, I prepare various powers of 3, just like I did with the previous exercise that was dealing with various powers of 2. So powers of 3 and 3 to the power of 4 is going to be 81, right? And 3 to the power of 1 is 243. That's already too much. I say, Alex, how do you know? Well, you can use calculator, just familiar with these powers. So it's 243. Try raise the powers 3 to various powers. So it's like 81 is 9 times 9. So that's 27 here. That's 9, and that's 3, and that's 1. And now I need to split my number 138 in these powers. I wrote 3 to the 5th here to show that we don't need to use it because it's already too much for 138. So I need to see how many 81s will fit into 138. Notice it's going to be only 181, because if you try twice, it'll be already 160, so it'll be over. Okay, so what's going to remain if I take off 81 from 138? Well, just subtract, and you see it's going to be 57, right? Okay. So once I took care of 81, now I move down to 27, and I see that 27 does fit in 57. In fact, looks like it fits into it, what, once or twice? If I multiply by 2, it'll be 54, right? It's already too much. Oh no, it'll be fine. So 54, so I'll go twice, right? So twice number 27 will fit in it, because this is actually 54, and then what remains for the rest will be just 3. 3. Who wrote 4? It has to be 3. 3. So 3. So one piece is 81, then 57 remains. So twice 27 is 54. So when I subtract it from 57, 3 will remain. So I already took care of that one and that one. Now I move to the next, to 9. So the question is, how many 9s are there in 3? I say, Alex, 9 is already too big. Okay, so 0 9s, no 9s, in other words. So now I move down to the next position, which is 3. And when you say, Alex, 3 is exactly what remains. So we have 1 3 here, right? And 0, nothing remains for the rest, which is 0 of these ones. And since my number now is written with powers of 3, so that's fourth power, third power, second power, first power, right? And 0 power, just to clarify. Then here's the answer. So first digit is 1, second digit is 2, next digit is 0, next digit is 1, and last digit is 0. So this is, I just copied these digits. 1, this one is 2, this one is 0, this one is 1, and this is 0. And that's it. So I just wrote the number, they have 138 in a base 3. Please notice it's very important that you put base, because who knows what base it is. Maybe in base 10, it'll be 12,000, but in the base 3, it's only 138. Again, if you wish to double check, you just go back and multiply all these digits by powers of 3, and you will end up with 138 in the base 10. So that's a great question, and I guess that's all we need here. So I'm glad that you are working on your homeworks, and it looks like more people already in, and that's super. So let me return back to original textbook. And again, remind you that we're going to have homework due on sections in chapter 4, first 3 sections, and you don't have to do the stuff that I told you to skip. And also section 5.1, section 5.1. So today I'd like to discuss exam that we have coming on Monday. And first of all, I think I'll start with the email that I sent to everyone a while ago. I think that email had the problem that you were supposed to do for practice. So practice exercise. I sent it to you a while ago, so let me find it here somewhere. Let's see. MGF midterm practice. Okay, here's the midterm practice. So let me do this problem for you now. So it's an exercise that is a little bit different compared to problems that we just did. Why is it different? Well, because I want you all to have different answers. I don't want a whole class produce the same answer so people can work together. It's exams, so you should work individually. That's the point. So can somebody tell me what last digit of student ID you would like me to use to do this exercise? Because here I'm just 7. Okay, sounds very good. So I'm going to use 7. So if you have your student ID, and I will ask you to use last 2 digits of your student ID for the midterm exam, as well as for final. And that's the reason why I sent it to you a little bit earlier, so you understand better what this all means. So you need to know your student ID. Let's say if your last digit of student ID is 7, then instead of B, which is the last digit, you're going to use 7. If your last digit is 0, then you will use 0. If it's 5, then you use 5. So whatever last digit of student ID is, you use instead of B in the first exercise. So in this case, B plus 3 will be 7, so it's going to be base 10, like that. So convert base 10 numeral 37 to base B plus 3, which is 10. Well, you say, well, there is nothing to convert, it's just 37 because it's already in the base 10. So it looks like, well, for the midterm, I'll work on so you get something a little different. But anyway, so that's the idea. So if you have to convert it to base 10, then it's already in the base 10, so there's nothing to do. It's not interesting. So how about if I try B is equal to 6, the one that was here. So let me try B is equal to 6. If B was 6, then B plus 3 will be 9, right? b plus 3 will be 9. So I need to convert 37 to the base 9. So how can I write it in the base 9? Well, I need powers of 9. Actually, the exercises I just done, 2 exercises that I just done, were exactly of the same nature. So what I care about is powers of 9 in this case. I think I did one in base 2, the other I did in the base, 3 or something. So 37 in the base 9. So 9 squared will be 81. That's already too much. Please notice I gave small numbers, so you don't really have to struggle with it for a long time. And we have 9 that fits. I will talk about midterm in very detail in a little time. Let me finish with this problem and then we'll talk. No worries, just wait a little bit. So 9 is going to be a first power, and 1 will be the 0 power. So I need to see how many times 9 fits into 37. And when I say, well, 9 times 4, right, is 36, right? 9 times 4 is 36, plus there will be 1 remaining, so it's 1, 1. So my number will be written with powers of 9, so it's like 9 to the 0 and 9 to the 1. And it's actually digits that we have produced are 4 and 1 in the base 9. So 37 is 4, 1 in the base 9, just like that. So I did a couple of more problems today, and we also converted even bigger numbers than that to bases 2 and base 4, I believe, right? So here's conversion of base 9. I'd like to do one more before I start talking about midterm, how to upload it. Actually, you're not going to upload it. I'm going to email it to you. But anyways, so how about if you have a big digit for your student ID? For example, if your last digit is 9. So if B is 9, I say, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing exact same exercise, but for someone with last digit of student ID being 9. So if B is 9, then you have B plus 3, which is equal to 9 plus 3, which is 12. So now you have base 12. Okay. So can you write 37 in the base 12? Yes, of course. So digits in the base 12 will be 0, 1, 2, all the way through 9, right? And then you have also 10, and you also have 11, because base 12 needs to have 12 digits. So there should be total of 12 digits, you see? So what are the digits here? For 10, we use A, just like in the base 16. And for 11, we use B. Okay, so let me write this number 37, just like we have here, in the base using those digits. So these are my digits. Now in the base 12, we have 12 to the power of 1, we have 12 to the power of 0, 12 to the power of 2. Well, I'm not planning to give you something that you need to use bigger powers. So you just care about 12 and you care about ones in your split. So the question is, how many 12s are there in 37? And I say, well, 12 appears 3 times. 12 times 3 is 36, right? 3 12s. Plus, once you have 36, 1 will remain. 36 plus 1 is 37, right? So 1 of 12 to the power of 0, which is actually 1. So here you have your number in the base 12. It's going to be produced from these 2 first digits, 3 here and 1 here. So in the base 12, this is going to be 3 and 1. So in various bases, you can write that same number, and that'd be an idea for the midterm. So what I'm going to do is email you midterm exactly the same way I emailed you practice midterm. So you're not gonna upload it or do anything with it. You just check your email on Monday morning. I'll send it to you, the midterm exam, by email. So you open your email and you will have a test that has pretty much same structure. So there'll be one question and there'll be one more question. So there'll be two questions. First question will be pretty much the same as the one that I just sent to everyone. So that'd be first question. So you can just practice doing this exercise. Why is it in the base 12? Well, I can put it in any base. So why? That's the difficult question. You just ask me, Alex, why your name is Alex? Well, just call me Alex. I can't explain that. So why is it in the base 10? Well, it is in the base 10. So if I put in the base 12, you'll ask me, Alex, why is it in the base 12? See, that type of question is impossible to answer, to be honest. Well, I have to give you some problems. So I just give you the problem that is coming from the book. So just think about it. How would you answer that question that you just asked? I can't really think of the reply. So that's trick question. In boxing, they say this is a question below the belt. Can't really answer. So anyways, so whatever base for the exercise will be is coming from your last digit of student ID. So that's, I guess, what you need to worry about. So anyways, exam will be emailed to you. So check your email in the morning. And once you receive the email, you can start working on the midterm exam on your own piece of paper, and then make a picture and then email it back to me after you're done. I will log into the Zoom in the case if somebody has questions, something is unclear. I'll of course be on the Zoom, and if anything is need to be clarified, then I will clarify that, of course. But if you don't have any questions, if you received the email, technically you don't even have to log into Zoom, because you can work out problems on your own on a piece of paper and send me your work after you're done. So yes, we should start at time of the class, the time when class starts. So that's 8 o'clock, and you have till whatever time you need. So you need to work till 10, you need to work till 11, you can work till 11. There are two little exercises. I think that it should be maybe 20, 30 minutes for each maximum. But if you need to take 2 hours for each, that's fine with me. So there is no time limit. But you should send it to me Monday morning. Send it back to me, of course. And then I'll grade it. And after I grade it, I plan to put your result on the Blackboard, because I cannot email you your grades. So they don't allow me to use email. So what I can do is put on the Blackboard your result of the midterm. So I'll just put percentage. So let's say if you got 50% or you got 100% or whatever. So it'll be in terms of percentage. So you will see if you got 70%, that's C, 80%, that's B. So you will see, or maybe I'll put letter grade. So you will even don't have to convert anything. So you'll see there's A or B. So that could be even nicer. So we'll see how it works. So, but the point of story, I will put your result on the Blackboard prior to next class meeting, which is going to be on Wednesday. So on Monday, I hope I received your work. So I'll grade it over Tuesday, and by Wednesday morning, you should be able to see your grade for the midterm on the Blackboard. So when you log into class on Wednesday, you will be able to know what your grade on the exam is. And I will also put quiz grade on the Blackboard as well. So I will collect all the quiz grades and put it on the Blackboard. So midterm practice is for you to practice. You don't have to send it to me, because that's not part of your homework. What you need to send to me, though, along with your midterm, but in a separate email, is your homework. So send me midterm separately. So So that'd be midterm. You send it to me as a midterm. Now, homework I expect to also get, and as I said, someone already sent me homework. I didn't look at it yet, but that's great that you're working on it. And you can send it to me anytime over weekend before the midterm, so you'll practice prior to the midterm, and I hope to receive your homework as well. And send me 5.1. It could be sent in 2 emails. I told you that you can send me 1 email, you can send me 2 emails, you can send me 5 emails. That's fine. In fact, lots of times people send me separate emails because everything does not fit into one. So it's fine. As long as you send it to me around the midterm time, that's absolutely okay. Depends how you make those pictures. If you picture with your camera, then files are big. The picture files are big, so definitely they're not going to fit in one single email. But if you making those scans, then you can send it to me in one email. Or some people send me just a link, they put it on cloud or some other way. So any way you can do it, any way it works for you. If I cannot open it, I will let you know that. I will reply back to your email, say I couldn't open it. In fact, please, after you send your midterm to me, double check your email the next day, because if I couldn't open your email with a midterm, I will ask you to resend it. And that's important that you check your emails when you take this MDC live class, because this is online. So you want to make sure that you send everything to instructor, and instructor can open it, can grade it. Because if I cannot grade it, I will ask you to resend it. So please make sure that you check your email for just in case, okay? So not right away, because it might take a little time to come to me as well, and it might take me another day to grade it. But if I start grading it, if I cannot open it on Tuesday next week, then I will ask you to resend it to me, okay? So on Monday, we have exam. Whenever we have exam, we don't have lecture. So you just take exam. Some people need more time. So that's why I don't restrict anyone in time, and I don't lecture during the exams. I don't think any instructor will do that, because it's just disturbing you from taking the exam. So there is no lecture on the day of the exams. I don't think anybody does. We don't have much time for exam. That's why it's not like 5-hour class. So anyways, there'll be no lecture, so you don't have to log in on Monday, because you'll be taking your midterm, unless you have a question. So if there is something that I need to clarify, I cannot definitely look at your solution and say, oh, you know what, you didn't do it right, just change this here and here, because it's not going to be fair to other students in class that I am not going to help, right? So during the exams, I can clarify something if it's not clear from the exercise, but I cannot look at your solution or help you get started. Those things we don't do during exams, please understand. But if I can answer question, I will definitely do it, and that's why I'll be around. But again, if you're not going to have any questions, if you just take your midterm exam and email it to me, then you don't even have to log in on Monday, because I'll get your exam, so I'll know that you were taking it, so you don't have to be present in Zoom on Monday. On Monday, we'll just have exam. I plan to email it to you a little bit earlier, prior the class start time. So instead of 8, I'll send it like 7 or something like that. So you'll have more time. So whenever you wake up in the morning, you can check your email. Of course, if you wake up at 2, then it's not going to be there probably. But if you wake up sometime after 8, just open your email, and I'm pretty sure you will have the exam in it, your student email, just like you received email from me with this midterm practice, exact same way. And you should reply back to me to that same exact email address with your work, and that way you take the midterm exam. And again, I use this last digits of student ID to make sure that everyone does not get the same answer. I know there'll be two people with same last digits, so there could be some, but then I hope the other digit will not be the same, because for problem 2, I'll use the other digit. So looks like another question is waiting here from the homework, and I am anxious to do it. It's in section 4.3, exercise 31. So somebody else asked me to do that. And now I think it's time to do that exercise. So let me go back to the textbook to page, section 4.3. Thank you for waiting. Yeah, sometimes in this online format, you ask questions and you don't get a reply for a while. Well, because there were some other things that I have to answer prior, but don't get disappointed and frustrated, because eventually I will get to your question and answer it. So I think now it's a good moment to answer a question in section 4.3, and that's exercise number 31, that talks about multiplying the numbers in the format, and exercise 31. Both numbers are in the base 8 that you should try to multiply. Now, with multiplications and divisions, again, I told you you don't have to worry about these problems for homework, right? I told you that you could skip them. Skip means skip. Skip means don't worry about them. Don't do them, right? So you don't have to do problems like multiplication as well as divisions, because we didn't do them. But I can still do them for practice purpose. I'm glad that you're interested in this. So let me try 31. I hope you can see it here in front of you. So both numbers are in the base 8. So base 8 means we have powers of 8. In fact, I don't think it's a waste of time to do this, because I'm going to convert them to base 10 right now. And that's something that we will utilize for our exam that is coming on Monday. So base 8 deals with powers of 8, such as a first power of 8, second power of 8, third power of 8, right? Fourth power of 8, 0 power of 8. Please notice that the number we have here has 3 digits. So it just cares about this 3 powers of 8, such as 1, 8, and 64, right? So the actual number we have here, which is 623, it's not 623, it's in the base 8, right? 623, which is in the base 8, is nothing else but digits 6, digit 2, and digit 3 that are multiplied by these powers of 8, those, and so these 3. So let me put that in here. So it'll be 6 64s and 2 8s and 1 3. So I need to put these together and multiply them. So I guess the best way is to use calculators so you don't get mixed up, because these larger numbers can make you go and make little mistakes. So I get my favorite little calculator here and multiply 6 by 64, right? Plus 2 times 8 plus 1 times 3, so just 3. So the actual number that we have here is 403, and it's in the base 10. So this is the one that I have for start. And I also have to multiply it by the other number. So let's go back to the book and see what the other number is. And the other number is 4, right? So it turns out I skipped multiplications because they just give you big numbers, and that's something that are not really what we need, I guess. Otherwise, it will be quite a tedious test. And I don't plan to give a very difficult test with problems like that. So anyways, but it'd still be a good idea to try to multiply these numbers together in the base 10. So when I say so in the base 8, it's same as in the base 10. Yes, because base 10 is bigger. So it does have 4, it even has more digits than in the base 8. So I multiply 4 by 3 and get 12. 4 times 4 is 16. So now my goal is to write this number in the base 8 and produce the answer. So 16, 12. So it looks like now I need to actually get bigger powers of 8, and I will prepare them. So 8, 4, 8, 5. So let's see which will exceed my 16, 12. And again, I'll go back to the calculator because I don't want to do this in my head. It's so easy to get mixed up. So what for? So it looks like 8 power of 5 is here. 8 power of 4. So I just prepared here. 8 power of 4 is here. So it looks like 8 to the power of 5 is already 32,000. That's too much. 8 power of 4 is already 4,000. That's also too much, right? 8 power of 3 is the one that I will utilize, looks like, right? So it looks like I just got overexcited, but 8 cube is the only one I need. That's 512. Because these are already way too big compared to 1612. You see, that's 4,000, 32,000 are too big. Okay, that makes life easier. So I need to now break the 1612 with various powers of 8. Which ones? Well, first is 8 cube, which is 512. So how many 512s are in 16? Well, how many 5s in 16? Looks like 3. Can you see that? 3 times 5 is 16. It's 15, actually. So when I multiply 3 by 512, will be 36. And 3 times 5 is 15. 15, 36. So what's going to remain if you take it off from 512? 16, 12, 16, 12. You subtract 15, 36. See, they start to be involved with a very tedious calculation. So that's the reason why for the test, I decided to put smaller numbers, not big numbers like the one that we're working with right now. But if you can work with the big number, then you can definitely enjoy working with a small number. It'd be even easier, right? So anyways, 80 is here. So I see now that 64 will be utilized, and looks like it'd be 164 and 80, right? So I'll get 164 in here. So when I knock off 64 from 80, what's gonna remain is number 16, right? So the rest will be 16. Okay, so I already used the third power, second power. Now I go to 8. And I'm wondering how many 8s are 16? And one can say, Alex, there are exactly 2 of them. 2 times 8 is 16, right? And then nothing will remain, so it'll be a 0 for the rest. Okay, that makes me feel good. So 0 of these so-called 1s, or 0 powers of 8. Therefore, the number is going to be produced from those digits that I just put here. 3, right? Then next is 1, next is 2, next is 0, and that's in the base 8. So it's another good practice exercise. I think good practice was starting at this stage when we had 16, 12 in the base 10, and I wrote it as 3, 1, 2, 0 in the base 8. So this was just the answer produced right away. Interesting, right? So this is the first problem. First problem for the exam that we have been discussing today. I think that's indeed quite a different compared to what you used to see before. So now the question is, what's the second problem? Because remember, I told you there'd be another exercise on that little exam, the second problem. Well, I think second problem will be much nicer. It will come from section 5.1. And now I'm going to take a look at section 5.1 and give you an idea of what would be the second problem. And we finished with section 5.1. We looked at those so-called common multiple story. And that'd be the exercise that I plan to put on the test. I'll ask you to get a common multiple. So for this matter, I want to take a look at common multiple example. I found one here in the textbook. We did some of these common multiples together, but I think it'd be beneficial to just look at the common multiple example they have here. Of course, I'll give you smaller numbers. These are too big. For the test, I don't give big numbers. I'll give you like maybe 15, 24, some smaller, not that 144. That's too big. So even though you're not going to have such big numbers, well, let us just take a look at what they have. So they want to get a least common multiple, or people call it as LCM with capital letters, L, C, and M, least common multiple, for two factored numbers. So now I need to produce common multiple. Well, it turns out the word least is deceiving because actual number you produce is largest. So it has to have it all. What does it mean? It needs to take the largest power of 2, and that's going to be 2 to the 4th. Then it needs to take the largest power of 3, and that'd be 3 squared. So it has to have and that number as a part of it, and the other number as a part of it. And finally, it has to have the largest power of 5, which is 5 squared. And that'd be your least common multiple. And I think that's what they actually write in here. And when you decide to multiply these together, we can use calculator and multiply, I guess. That's probably the best thing to do, to not to make a mistake. Because when you're taking the test, I'm sure you know how to do this in your head or on a paper, these multiplications. But advice is be on the safe side. Do it right. Because if you make a mistake, well, you'll lose the point if you're on the test, right? So I want to just put in the calculator and get the answer. It looks like this. Least common multiple happened to be 3600. So this is your answer. So I will ask you a least common multiple exercise. As I said, it'd be not as large, as kind of crazy, it's too big. The numbers are too big. But I'll give you something reasonable. So let me try another exercise from this little section just to make sure you feel comfortable and know what to expect on this coming exam on Monday. So again, you can take it from any place that has internet connection in it. And please start taking it in the morning around 8 o'clock. That's the class start time, because, well, you signed for 8 o'clock in the morning class, so you should be available, right? I know things happen, but so I can make an adjustment on that one. Say, Alex, internet just didn't work, and okay, you can start it a little later when you be able to log in. I advise you to log in earlier because the exam will be emailed by me a little earlier anyways. So let me try 59. That's something more likely that you get compared to the problem I just did. So do least common multiple, finding on numbers 16 and 42. Did I do it last time? I don't remember, but anyways, let us factor this. So 16 you factor as 4 times 4, and then you end up with a bunch of factors of 2, right? And analogously, you can factor 42. It's a 6 times 7. It's in the timetable. And then you break each of these farther down. So you always factor it with prime factors, so-called prime factorization. And now I have 2 to the 4th, and the other is 2 times 3 times 7. So no powers, just first powers. So what's the least common multiple? So just like before, I find the largest power. So 2 here's in the first power, here's in the 4th. So the largest power will be 4, right? So I put 2 to the 4th. Okay. And that's it. There's no more other factors. So I just put 3 to the 1st and 7, and that'd be it. That's my least common multiple. And of course, we need to get the answer, because if you're trying to get a perfect grade on your exam, Well, you should give your grade a perfect answer. So you don't have to say after that, oh, you know, Alex, yeah, you can multiply this and see what it is. Well, if you want to get an A, you should multiply, and it doesn't take too long. You have a calculator, multiply by 3, you multiply by 7, and write down this 336. How long does it take? Less than a minute, right? 336, and that way you get a perfect answer. In fact, I'm showing you how to do the problems perfectly right now, which means how to get an A so no grader can possibly pick on you. So what you need to do is show all your work. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm showing all work on a piece of paper. Then I will make a picture of it and email it to Alex when I'm on the exam. So you don't just email me your answer. So if somebody just sends me 336 and says, Alex, this is my answer, give me an A. Well, I don't see your work, so it's not a perfect work. See, A is excellent grade. It means everything is perfect. Everything I can see on that paper. If you don't send me everything, that's not excellent. It's a part of work. So if it's a part of work, well, you'll get part of credit. And I'm warning this before you start sending me the test. So you know that if you want to get better grade, show all your work. Don't worry. Maybe some work is wrong. That's okay. But I'll see which one is wrong. I will disregard it. But the correct part will definitely give you more. It's never going to give you less credit if you show your work. Please realize that. So it's in your advantage to send me all your work. And say, Alex, I'll have 5 pages. I did so much. Send me all 5 pages. That's fine. Send me it in 3 emails, but please make sure you say this is my midterm so I know what it is. So because it might be homework, who knows what you're sending, right? Extra credit. So send it to me. So that's my midterm. Okay, that's 1 email. That's my homework. That's another email, maybe another 5 emails, who knows? But make sure you call them homework so I know what it is. That's important. And if you decide to do some even problem for extra credit, you can also send it to me. But I think right now you want to prepare for the exam. So you don't have to worry about other things. So prepare your homework, prepare your, well, camera to make sure that you can take those pictures. So the very last moment, you don't run out of batteries and you don't have batteries, you want to run someplace to buy them or whatever, or charge your phone. So those things you should prepare. So the point is, whenever exam time comes, take it seriously. Don't plan some other things for Monday morning. Plan them for Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning, okay? So that's pretty much all I can say about the exam. And if there are any other questions, please ask. I'm here so we can talk about it. Homework or anything else. This be a nice exam. You shouldn't panic. 2 problems. I'm sure you can make it. And as long as you take it seriously, don't have a party all night on Sunday. Just skip the party for Sunday night and have it on Saturday night, the night before. Okay. So I'm going to stop recording right now.